Okay, Mr. Eddie Barber, I'm back with another one here. Today we are going to do a skin fade with a 3.5 on top. A lot of people like to ask me about this clipper. I get a comment on almost every video. What clipper is this? Basically, this is the Oster Volt, but it's the exact same thing as the Oster Octane. If you look at it, the colors are different. The Octane's gray, but this is the same clipper. And I'm telling you right now, if you need to look for it, the link is in the description. Go ahead and check it out. You can look it up. It is expensive, but this is the best clipper I've ever had. I use this thing, I'm going on 7 years or so with it, and I've let everybody in my shop use it as well. This thing has probably done at least 40 haircuts a day on average for about that entire period of time that I've had it. And it's never let me down. I've never even had to change the battery. Of course, if I did ever have to change the battery's modular, so I could just pop it out and I could buy a new one. I've seen them sell on eBay for as much as $50 for the battery. So I don't really anticipate running into any trouble with this. But anyways, let's run into this haircut. I'm starting with the Wall Finale. Also another great product. You can check out the link in the description. And I'm starting by going against the grain towards the bottom, and I'm releasing my pressure as I get closer to that 5-0 line. I put in the line with the 5-0 on the detachable clipper. No, I don't ruin my trimmers. I don't beat my trimmers up by just skinning people out with them. It's not even feasible. If you're a celebrity barber and you do 1 haircut a day or 5 haircuts a day, good for you. But I'm telling you right now, when you're in the trenches and you need to get shit done, that's what you want to use. That 5-0 puts in work and it knocks away all that hair. So anyways, as I get to the top of that 5-0 line, you see me start to release my pressure. I also sometimes take strokes down with it, so I'm going with the grain. His hair faded fairly easy, so the whole goal here is that I don't want to have any line in between where I did my 5-0 and my skin line. If you do, you need to go back and you need to reevaluate that. You got to be very consistent and very thorough in your fade process. It's going to take you half the time. If you decide to skip steps and you say, oh, I'm going to take care of that in the cleanup phase, well, the cleanup phase is going to be the majority of your haircut. This is my favorite technique to use with the Wall 5-Star Senior, which I'm not really a big fan of, and to be honest, I've stopped using them. But I gave them an honest try. I'm doing this with the half. I put the half on with the lever, put the half on with the lever in the closed position, and I'm going to go up and I'm going to make my first guideline with it. Then I'm coming underneath that with the open taper, and I'm going to begin my same process that I always use. Let me put in the diagram here. All right, so right now I got the lever open about 90%, and I'm keeping it on an angle. As I begin closing this clipper down, I have it open about 70%, and I'm keeping it on an angle, and little by little I'm just tapping it forward about 50%, and I'm using either one corner or I'm trying to keep it on an angle this whole time. So now I have it nearly fully closed, and I'm wiping out that bottom line. So you'll see this will come out easy for you if you start like that. We're gonna start from the top. The lever's open 100%, right? And then the lever's only open 90%, and then it's 70%, and then it's 50%, and it might even be 20% until it's fully closed. So I'm gonna begin the exact same process with the number 1 now. Taking the number 1, I have it open, and I'm gonna begin closing it little by little. So currently I have it fully open. Now I'm closing it just a little bit here, and I'm going to stay just underneath where I just was. And as we get to the number 1 area, we don't have to take so many small steps because it doesn't take lines as easily as it does when we're dealing with the skin to open taper area. So now you'll notice that I still have a little dark spot there, which is where I'll come in with my half open. Again, I put my guideline in with the half closed, and that's why I still have this little bit of line. We got a little bit of overlap here, so I'm going to begin closing it, keeping it on an angle, and I'm going to get rid of this little dark spot, and you're going to see this fade starts to shape up nice. As I begin closing it all the way, I begin keeping it on an angle. So easy to create new lines. If you bring this thing up straight, you just might create another line, and then you're going to create additional work for yourself. So save yourself the trouble, keep it on an angle, or only put one of the corners down, and you'll find it very easy to get that line out. The parietal ridge here, and I'm going to begin wiping out the rest of what remains of the line. This is going to line up pretty good with the 3.5 that I used on top, and I'm not really going to have any further steps maybe I can come back and hit it with a 2 a little bit, but it probably won't be necessary. I'm hitting it with it open, a little bit with it closed, and you can see the fade's going to come out, you know, fairly clean on this side. I still got a little bit of work to do, and I got the 2 on. I got the 2 on, and I'm just going to clean up that last little bit. And that's really about it. So this is like my favorite fading technique to use with the Wahl Senior cordless. Okay, and getting on to the next video, I just wanted to tell you about, I'm going to do a video about flipping versus not flipping the clipper, the benefits and the drawbacks to each side. And obviously it's a little bit of a debate. Both techniques can give you a good result. It's just whatever you favor, or in my opinion, it's just personal experiences have led me to believe that it's great to use in some situations, but maybe not so great to use in other situations. So we're going to do the video on flipping the wrist versus keeping it flat. And back to the edge up for just a second. I'll tell you this, whenever I do an edge up, I try to look for the low side, and I like to begin on the low side. If a client has no apparent issue, like say one side is not lower than the other, it's pretty good, then go ahead and start in the middle. But I like to start on the low side, because if you start on the high side, you make the high side even higher, then the only thing you can do is make the low side higher, and you're going to push his edge up back to get it straight. You're going to be forced to go into his hairline too deep. So I like to just take just a little bit at a time, step back, look at it, step back, look at it. I'm using my mirrors, I'm getting the distance that I need to get, and I'm finding where I made mistakes, and I'm going back and I'm cleaning those up. So that would be my advice for the edge up there. And I'm using a Andis GTX, and it's really a nice clipper for certain types of hair, but I still really love my Slimline Pro Li. I think it's the best trimmer you could ever own. But in some situations, that Andis really shows its strengths, and in certain hair, like vellus hair, child hair, any kind of thin, light hair, that Andis GTX sort of struggles. But it seems like there is no hair that the Slimline Pro Li can't cut. And the majority of my day, I still use that in my hand. I actually have come to like it more than the Wahl Detailer cordless Retro. I pretty much don't even use that thing anymore. I went back to the Andis. I mean, as much as I like Wahl, and I think they're a good, solid company, I mean, I go with what works. I'm not sponsored. No one's giving me any money to say anything. I'm just telling you the truth of it in all the years that I've done it. So, yeah, I'm going to let you guys just check out the rest of this video. I just got the spin left, and I appreciate you for watching. Thanks for listening. Thanks for the support and the love. And I'll see you in my next video. Check it out. It's going to be flipping the wrist versus not flipping the wrist. And I'll see you soon. Peace.